Hi everyone. I have put off making this video for a while now because I'm a very shy person, and some of the things I'm going to tell you, not even my family has necessarily heard from me. These are things that are very, very personal, but at the same time I feel like I need to share my story because I think some people misunderstand what I'm so passionate about. So I'm going to tell you why I'm so passionate. And it's going to start, it's going to be about my health. I don't consider myself a very unhealthy person, but when I look back, maybe I'm wrong about that. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is anxiety, which is probably the most debilitating thing you can have. And if you have anxiety, you know exactly what I'm talking about. My anxiety was horrible. It was debilitating. It affected my entire life. It made it very hard to live in the moment, very hard to do just normal day-to-day stuff. I would have panic attacks all day, every day. I would have them in the middle of class, in front of a bunch of 10th graders, and I would literally just have to stop and have myself calm down and tell myself, like, you're not gonna die, it's gonna be okay, you're not having a heart attack. It's just anxiety, and for no reason. There was no reason I should be having anxiety attacks. Driving down the road, I'd have an anxiety attack. I would literally almost have to pull over because I was so just worked up, and my vision would be kind of like it affects everything. And so it was a hard thing for me. So I was in my doctor's office one day, and the doctor that delivered Evan, and he is an amazing doctor, and I just broke down and started crying because he asked me if everything was okay, and it wasn't. I was not okay. And so I talked to him, and I was just, bawling my eyes out in the room saying, I don't want to take medicine, I want to deal with this myself, it's something I can deal with. And he prescribed me these generic for Zoloft, one of the prescriptions I'm going to show you today. And I took it home, I got it filled, I looked at it, and I cried. I did not want to take depression medicine. I'm not depressed. I denied it. Like I said, no, I'm not going to do it. And I let it sit on my shelf for a couple days. And I decided I was going to try to talk to a counselor, because maybe a counselor could help me deal with it without taking medicine. So I went and talked to a counselor. It didn't help. It was good to talk to somebody about it, but it didn't take it away. So I took the medicine for a few weeks. Hated how I felt. It didn't help my anxiety. It didn't do anything for me. And my friend Chelsea, I saw her posting about Plexus, and I was like, why not? Why not give it a try? So I stopped the medicine. I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm gonna deal with this on my own. And my life changed from there. My anxiety after a month on the triplex was gone. I don't have panic attacks anymore. I don't feel like I'm gonna die every single day. I don't have anxiety about everything. I had anxiety about everything. Storms, if thunder, it was like I had terrible anxiety. We bought a storm shelter because of it. Not to say that you shouldn't be scared of storms. I'm still, a little scared, but I am not completely to the point to where I can't function because of it. And so my anxiety is just gone. So it's crazy. I do get anxiety about things that you should get anxiety about, normal, if something bad happens, yes, you're going to have a little anxiety, but it's not debilitating. It's not controlling my life anymore. And for that, I am completely and totally thankful. Depression. I said I wasn't depressed. I was a little depressed. It's mostly just not feeling worthy, not feeling just feeling worthless, like not wanting to do things, just coming home and wanting to just like sit. I obviously have a child I had to take care of, and I did. I took care of him, and then when I was done taking care of him, I did nothing. I did nothing else. Maybe I would work on schoolwork when I had to, and I did what I had to do, but besides that, I didn't do anything else. I wasn't up and I wasn't doing things that made me happy. I wasn't listening to music, I wasn't dancing. I wasn't, I just wasn't having fun, and that's changed. That's also changed since a month on the triplex, and it's totally different. I have a totally different outlook for myself. I feel like I am worthy. I feel like I deserve things, and like I feel like I deserve better, better for myself, better to think about myself better, and things like that. So it's been great to get rid of that like worthless feeling. So now I'm going to talk about some doctor related issues, things that I went to the doctor for all the time. First of all, my stomach issues. I had probably for 2.5 years a pain right under my left like rib cage area. Just a pain, constant pain. And I went and I had 2 ultrasounds. I had my gallbladder checked and my spleen checked. Doctors could not figure out what it was. So he put me on an ulcer medicine. And since he thought it was an ulcer, didn't help. I still had pains. I took this medicine every single day, and I still had pains. And so he was like, the next step is basically go get a scope put down your throat, and let's see what's down there, and we'll get a biopsy. It's probably an ulcer. Once we see that it's an ulcer, we're still going to do the same thing. You're going to take this medicine forever. Who wants to take medicine for the rest of their life? Like, for an ulcer why did I have an ulcer? Why? There's really no reason for it. I don't eat anything crazy that would give me ulcers. I don't, stress maybe, but why did I have an ulcer? There wasn't the bacteria that causes ulcer in my system, so this medicine wasn't helping at all. Well, I didn't get the treatment. I started Plexus, and it went away. It went away after about, I'd say 3 weeks. 3 weeks on triplex, and it went away. It was one of those things like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. And it's because of this guy right here, this ProBio 5. And if you think, oh, well, maybe you didn't take probiotics before, these are the probiotics I took before. They are women's, regular, let's see, 15 billion, 25 billion. I took those. I took them every day. And so it wasn't that. I was taking probiotics, but ours is different. And ours got to the root of the problem. Next thing that I can remember stomach issues for as long as I can remember, since I was a tiny little girl. And if you don't believe me, ask my mom and dad. They will tell you. Nauseous every single morning. Every morning, nauseous for hours. I couldn't eat, couldn't drink anything. I would lay on the floor crying when I was a little girl. And I remember this. I remember my childhood bathroom, laying on the floor crying. And they couldn't do anything for me. I was sick. Like something was wrong with my stomach. I don't have that anymore. And, let's see. This is nausea medicine that I was prescribed. And this is nausea medicine that I was prescribed. Who wants to take nausea medicine every day? One of these is Zofran. You know what it does? It paralyzes your stomach. Who wants to take that every day? And that's what I was prescribed. I was prescribed those 2 things. And I'm not nauseous when I wake up anymore. I'm not sick in the morning every day. I feel good. I can wake up and I can do what I want to do. I don't have this debilitating hour that I can't sit there and not do anything and just lay in bed and cry about my stomach hurting, which I obviously couldn't do. As an adult, you have to get up and you have to go. And I would get up and I would go, but I would be gagging and dry heaving and throwing up some mornings because I was so nauseous. So that one was one that I didn't even realize, I have had for a long, long time. One of the other things that I went to the doctor for was my heart. And of course everybody thinks I'm crazy, like nothing's wrong with your heart, you're young. But my heart, when I would get stressed, or pretty much all the time, would it felt like it was skipping beats or something was wrong. And so I went to the doctor and I got it checked out. And they put a heart monitor on me for 24 hours. They found that I had these things called PVCs. It's where your heart throws out an extra beat, whether it's caffeine or stress or some of the triggers. But my heart doesn't do that anymore. That would also give me anxiety too, because I thought something was really wrong with me. I don't have that anymore. And my heart, maybe if I get really, really stressed, it'll do it once. But it won't sit there and do it over and over and over. And that to me, like, it's making my heart more healthy. It's almost, to me, unrealistic that these things have happened. But it all goes back to my gut health, and it was terrible, and it was not good. So anyways, there's nothing to do for the PVCs. 10% of the population has it. My doctor says, if everybody were to get tested. Most people don't notice it, but I'm very aware of my body, so I noticed it. But it doesn't do it anymore. And so, to me, that's amazing. Sinus. Okay, I know y'all have heard me talk about my sinus infections. Maybe you don't believe me. But I've got lots of prescriptions and things that I was prescribed because of my sinus infections. I would have a sinus infection almost every month, pretty much. If I got a cold, it turned into a sinus infection. And it turned into one that gave me a fever and had to be treated with antibiotics. So I have had, I don't know how many of these prescribed to me, but they started to not work because I've had that many prescribed. Mucinex, this stuff is disgusting, but this is what I was prescribed. Sudafed, every day. I'm supposed to take this every day. I was prescribed this. Nose spray. Every day I was prescribed this. I'm supposed to take this every day because it reduces inflammation. So my sinuses would be more clear. So that I was taking. I mean, wow. How much stuff am I supposed to take? Like, this pile of stuff behind me is crazy. But those were the things I was prescribed for my sinus infections. And of course, I was taking antibiotics every month. My gut health was terrible. I was killing all the good bacteria in my gut, killing it. And I was trying to replenish it with the probiotics, but it wasn't really replenishing. The yeast had already taken over in my gut. Like, it's already there. You've got to get rid of the yeast to get the good stuff in, and the probiotics don't get rid of the yeast. So sinus infections, since I've started Plexus and the triplex, I haven't had one sinus infection. And to say that is crazy because it's been since October. To have one every month and to have that terrible, and to have to go to the doctor and be on medicine, and I mean, it's such a relief. It's like I can breathe. Like, I can breathe again. And used to, I just thought, oh, it's my mom's fault. She's had sinus infections her entire life. But, I just had, like, small nasal passages, but it really wasn't the case. Like, I had bad inflammation. So, the last thing, well, not the last thing, but some of the last things, my Dr. Pepper Mountain Dew addiction, I would go to Come and Go every single morning. And then I would crash at 2 p.m. To 2 p.m. is 6th period for a teacher, or for me, for our school, and I would literally be walking around the classroom trying to keep my eyes open. Walking around the classroom trying to keep my eyes open. Who has that problem? I don't know. I did. I mean, it was like after lunch, and 5th period was fine. After lunch, 6th period, I was literally trying to keep my eyes open. It was terrible. It was terrible. You know, the energy you get from this, because it levels your blood sugar, is just a sustained energy. Like, you're not, it's just level. You don't feel jittery. You don't feel like crazy, like, oh my gosh, I need to, do everything. But you have energy to do what you need to do. And you don't have that crash. My immune system, I was taking vitamins prenatals because I was breastfeeding. I was taking vitamins, so I thought I was doing what I needed to do for my immune system, but it's nothing compared to the vitamin that I started on when I did Plexus. It's like, between the vitamins and the probiotics and getting my gut healthy, my immune system is crazy better. And I'm really trying not to cry here, guys. So I'm getting a little sniffly. But my immune system, usually for school, I ran out of sick days, like, every year. Between me and Evan, and mostly me, staying home, being sick, I ran out of sick days. I had sick days left over this year, and I had taken off for things like doctor's appointments for Evan, and him getting hurt at school or fighting at school. I didn't take off because I was sick. I mean, I used those sick days for, things that I needed, I could use them for. Evan being sick a little bit, and, him maybe having a fever at school or something, but not for me. And usually it was for me. So that's been, a good thing, not to be sick all the time. Who wants to be sick all the time? My acne, like my face, I had terrible acne. I would be covering it up every day, but, I may have a spot or two every once in a while, but it's nothing like it used to be. And it's not just that, it's like my skin tone is even. Like, I don't have to wear makeup. It's even. It's just, it's not blotchy everywhere. My nails are a lot stronger. I can actually grow my nails. And when I sleep, I wake up refreshed, and I don't wake up nauseous. So that's a big deal. And, there's a couple things that I didn't say, things that I took that have helped because of Plexus. I used to take this good old guy. Oh yeah. And these are for the same kind of thing. And I also had an inhaler that, I would take when I if I needed to work out or something, because I had like sports-induced asthma. I don't take those anymore. I don't take any of this. This whole pile of stuff that I threw down behind me. I don't take that anymore. Instead, I take these 4 things. And yes, I've lost 30 pounds, and I've lost lots of inches, and I stay away from the scale. Really, I could have lost more than 30 pounds at this point, but I stay away from the scale. But I crave fruits and vegetables. I crave the good stuff. So, if you think it's just about weight loss, guys, it's so not. And that is why I'm so passionate. And you have heard things that I have not told many people, and it kind of scares me, but at the same time, I wanted to share. So I hope that if you're having any of these issues, that you let us help you, because that's what we want to do. We want to help you. It's not about scamming you. It's not about making money. We want to help you. I want everybody to feel what I felt. So I love you guys. I love everybody, and I can't wait to hear what you think.